So, Brazilian brilliance, Portuguese progress, gallant Ghanaians, 14 goals across 4 games, 2 more teams booking their passage to the last 16. All of this and more in this Now Stream in Qatar.
876 stream. Bless up.
So Brazilian fans all across the world, and in particular Jamaica, breathed a sigh of relief as they were able to secure passage to the last 16 of the World Cup, something that they have done consistently since 1970 onwards. 1966 was the last time that they missed out on the second round. So much to talk about, so much things to discuss, especially ahead of next week, and of course this week in particular, with the all teams in the competition participating in their last group stage game of the competition. To dissect this and break this down a little bit further, we have a very, very special panel with us this afternoon. To my immediate right, we have Ornella Thompson, an avid Spain fan, and to my far right, we have Jamel Tucker. Ladies and gentlemen, how are you doing?
I'm good.
Welcome
Quite
to
all right.
the panel.
Thank you for having me.
It's really, really a pleasure to have you. Firstly, we ask all our guests on the panel your first World Cup in memory. What was your first memory?
First World Cup memory? Like my first one, or
Yeah.
the one that I loved the most?
You can give us both. Why not?
All right. The first one was when Spain won the World Cup in 2010, and one in 2014 when Neymar rolled his way off the pitch and never to be seen again for the rest of the World Cup, which is happening kind of now, but we don't know yet. So we'll see.
Not a Brazil fan at all, are you?
No.
I can sympathize. I understand exactly what you mean there. But I think it's difficult because Jamal is a Netherlands fan, and of course Spain played in the final, so you're bringing back memories that he didn't want. So,
Aww.
yeah.
Oh, sure.
I don't feel any sympathy in that at all.
Oh, I mean, sorry.
So, folks, 14 goals across the 4 games today, and it's quite compelling to see how the groups stack up at this point in time, and we'll ensure to have that graphic for you quite shortly. But just to recap the scorelines from the games: Cameroon 3, Serbia 3. Cameroon their first point at a World Cup since 2002. After that, we saw Ghana picking up their first win at a World Cup since 2010 as they defeated South Korea 3-2. And after that as well, Brazil edging Switzerland by a goal to nil. And the last match of the day, Portugal walking away 2-0 winners, a brace for Bruno Fernandes. Jamal, which one of those 4 games for you stood out the most in terms of the quality of play?
Surprising to say, I'd have to say it's probably the last one, the Portugal game.
Mm.
I say it's surprising because I wasn't expecting much from Uruguay from a technical standpoint. They have some decent players in Nunes and Cavani and Valverde, Bentancur, but in terms of the team on a whole, they disappoint and they bore more often than not. The fact that they got their first shot on target for the whole World Cup campaign thus far in this game says as much as you need to know about how much they can disappoint. But from the Portugal, or from a Portuguese standpoint, I was impressed because when I really kind of took a stock of what the Portugal team can offer, and I really thought about it some more, I realized actually this is a team that, genuinely could challenge in what's a weird World Cup. Because, in 2016 when they won the Euros, it was a weird competition, especially their path to winning. So I thought in a weird competition as this World Cup seems to be, it's right for Portugal to actually make something of themselves. So I was interested to see how they did. And I think they acquitted themselves well.
Ornella, I know you're a Spain fan, but is there any other team in particular that has stood out for you so far within the World Cup as a whole?
I'm not going to lie. Ghana has been playing well. It's Ghana, right?
Ghana, who
Yeah.
played today?
Ghana has been playing
South
well.
Korea, yes.
And England in a way, but they need to step their game up a bit. They're just playing, casually. They need to step it up.
Mm-hmm. And what about your team, Spain? How you thought about what they've done so far?
They're stressing me out, honestly. They are really stressing me out, especially the goalkeeper. I didn't like how they were playing the last match yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
They were just playing like this. this. And the way how they were kicking the ball to the goalkeeper, and the Germans were like 1, 2, 3 right at the goal, and then they were just stressing me out, honestly. They were really stressing me out. They played well, but they were stressing me out.
You'd make any changes to the team, the 11 that starts, or anything of that nature for their next game? It's a big game coming up. They have 4 points, so at least one more would secure them to the round of 16 of the competition.
I mean, I'm not worried about them going to the round of 16. I just have to depend on Japan. I have to depend on Japan right now.
To beat them, yeah.
Yeah, I have to depend on Japan, depend on Costa Rica.
Yeah, because you have Japan next, Costa Rica as Germany.
Yes.
So, yeah. But who's your favorite Spanish player on the team?
My favorite Spanish player is the little youngster.
Yeah, Pedri. You also have Gavi.
Gavi. That guy, Gavi.
Doing quite well.
Yeah, he's doing really well. Even for his age, yeah.
Favorite player in the tournament?
My favorite player?
Yeah.
Go on, you practice. Go on, you practice it. Go on.
Oh, you're going to show the folks back home?
This guy.
Look at that.
Jude Bellingham.
Yes. So she's also an England fan, folks. So you know what that means. Tomorrow, England versus Wales. Yeah, she'll be supporting
favorite player is
England.
actually Kevin.
Yeah. De Bruyne.
De Bruyne.
There you go.
Yes.
She was
Kevin De
practicing
Bruyne.
off here.
Kevin De Bruyne. Very good. Yes, the Belgian player. Okay. And I mean, the World Cup as a whole, how much are you enjoying it? You like the upsets, the surprises, and everything like that?
Listen, I've been making my bets, and I've been losing every single bet.
Really?
So it's a very unpredictable World Cup, I must say, but it's very enjoyable because you don't know who's going to win what. So I like it.
Yeah. Jamal, your thoughts as well? I mean, we're only day 9 in, but your thoughts about what we've seen thus far in the competition, the ups, downs, different teams at different parts of the table, and what is needed for the last set of games this week?
I would say the excitement around it going in wasn't quite there for me. But definitely, I mean, I wasn't really worried at the same time because it's the World Cup. You know, once the World Cup gets going, once football starts playing, you go.
Unpredictable sport. You never know what's going to happen.
You know, and you get into it, you start to enjoy it some more. So I wasn't really worried about enjoying the World Cup. I was just saying that there was a lack of anticipation for me. And it's weird because Netherlands is back in the World Cup, and I was thinking, you know, here's my team coming back, what can we do? And I still wasn't really feeling much. But now that it's on the way, and now that the football is playing, and we're reminded that the ball is round, because we're seeing really good performances from teams we weren't expecting it from. We're seeing shock results, seeing some good goals being scored here and there as well. Casemiro with another one for Brazil today. You know, like we're seeing drama, we're seeing storylines. So for 9 days in, with, you know, let's say the business end still to go, the knockout round, I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, and Jamal, I mean, we spoke about the Portuguese side of things, but from the Uruguayan perspective, what you think was missing today, or generally speaking, for them to perhaps have a deep run within the competition itself?
I would say probably a central creator. We spoke about this off here as well, where we mentioned that, and I said it too at the top of the show, that there are some talented players in the Uruguay team. Right. You know, some of them that are playing at some of the highest levels and have done. You know, because of course they have a few veterans as well. You know, Suarez and Cavani, Godin, Cotes, and Cáceres. They've played at the highest level, and so they have experience, and they have the youngsters who are coming in who are talented as well. What they, I guess, not so much in terms of age, but if you notice, with the exception of Cavani and Suarez, most of their experience is in the defense, which is, I guess, why they're so hard to break down. And the youthful exuberance comes in the attack, or in like areas out wide or whatever. They're probably missing someone, not in terms of age, but in terms of ability, to knit that all together in the middle of the park to kind of get the defense transition into attack, and then, you know, making that killer pass to get the forwards in, you know, that kind of thing. That's probably what they're missing most of all, for years actually, not just in this competition. But I think that's probably why they didn't have much shots on target. Because, I mean, you have two of the best strikers in their history and two of the best strikers in the world over the last decade or so. So, on the team, and yet still neither of them can get on target or even put one towards goal. So it's like there's probably something in chance creation that's lacking.
As a United fan, was it a bit nostalgic to see the likes of Varela and Facundo Pallistri take the field?
It was nostalgic to see Cavani.
Of course.
Yeah, like there's been a lot of drama in terms of striking for United. So it was nice to just see a guy who knows how to put the ball in the back of the net and was a decent person as well to just, support for the club. Varela is an enigma. I don't even have any affiliation with him. Like, there's no... It's just, a guy that used to play for United. There's a million of them, so I didn't really, feel much towards him. And Pellistri, I'm still learning about him. I'm still looking to see what he can do. So it's interesting whenever you get the chance to actually see them on this big stage. We mentioned it a couple of days ago, I think, where we talked about there's always like somebody that you get to watch up close for the first time during the World Cup. You hear them name float around, and then the World Cup comes around, and you're like, okay, I see why everybody's excited about that guy now.
Yeah. Ornella, are you a Manchester United fan?
No,
What do you mean, no?
I'm quite the opposite.
The
A Liverpool
opposite?
fan?
I am a Man City fan.
No, man.
Why? No, why would you do such a thing?
Why not?
What
I
do you mean,
love
why
Man
not?
City.
There has to be a reason. So
You know
what
what,
could be the reason?
I
Jeff,
love the playing
I'd-
style, and obviously I'm a Kevin De Bruyne fan.
So why not Belgium? You're a Spain fan.
No. Let me tell you why I like Spain.
Yeah.
I've
Please.
always liked Spain because it was like a mixture. It reminds me of La Liga in a way, because it's like a mixture of Barcelona.
Barcelona, yeah.
And I was a Barcelona fan, but
Was. Wow.
I can't tell when last I watched a Barcelona match because they've been disappointing me for years.
So just jump the wagon.
So I just jump and just stick to my Premier League side.
Right.
Oh.
Man City, stick
Right.
to it. And I'm a fan of Spain because it's like a mixture of Barcelona and
Real Madrid,
Real Madrid and that other team.
Valencia.
No, it's Real
Atletico?
Madrid and
Atletico Madrid.
and Barcelona.
Barcelona,
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The other match, the Spain versus Germany, was like Barcelona versus
Bayern.
Bayern Munich. Yes.
Okay. Interesting. Okay. So one day you're gonna stay on the Spain ship, or you're gonna?
I am sticking with Spain. I don't see myself switching to any other team unless it's England.
All right.
So-
England.
But you-
England is my backup team in case Spain jumps.
Interesting.
So to Jamaica.
Let's not talk about Jamaica. No, we don't want to get depressed.
No, but 2026, the World Cup is in USA, Canada, Mexico, so a big chance for Jamaica. So you can imagine, you can wake up and say, I want to fly to Miami, and bam, you're at a World Cup game.
Yeah, that's good, But
Mm-hmm.
the way how JFF are going, I don't know about that.
You have to see it first.
They're fighting out their players. So they need to change their way of thinking and the playing style and just support local before you can go international,
You want to be the coach?
I wish. I think I would do a good job.
Agreed. You play as well?
No. I play like little scribble and them little, I can do a little juggling, but nothing serious because I'm afraid somebody will trip me and I have 2 left foot.
Well, that's the beauty of it, because the Reggae Girls actually need a left back and they need a left-footed player. So that is why I think you'll work out perfectly.
I'm a volleyball player, not a footballer.
Okay.
I use my hands, not my foot.
You can go keep.
Yeah.
Sir. But I don't like to.
Then you can play left back. You have a bit of pace, strength, size.
Pace? I'm
Yes.
slow.
That's relative.
Can't do that. I'm slow bad. If I run, I will drop on my face.
You never know.
Never know for you.
All right, folks. So we've had to take a look at that Portugal versus Uruguay game as well. Hopefully, we can get some graphics on the screen quite shortly as it relates to the other results that happened quite recently. But before we go into that specifically, I want to get Jamal's take on the other games that took place today, and that was the opening in particular, the Cameroon against Serbia encounter. I mean, Jamal, we watched this game quite early in the morning, and certainly many people would say you didn't need coffee because so much goals were in this encounter. It certainly gave us a little buzz to start the day.
Yeah, one of the things that a lot of people, locally been talking about is we want to see the model and, get some victories under the belt, get some positive results. So, Ghana, they actually started the game not so hot, but then they grew into it. And about Ghana, Cameroon, they started the game not so hot, and then they grew into it as the game continued. And they're called the Indomitable Lions.
Yes, that's right.
And they definitely proved it because they got some pressure. I mean, actually the game, I stepped outside for, I promise, not even 3 minutes good. You know, I walked out and it was still too low. Somebody was ranting and raving about that, you know, saying, oh, it's still too low, very. And then I come back inside and I'm saying, equalizer. And I'm thinking to myself, how can you equalize with a single goal? Because they were already leading too low.
Right.
And then I actually looked at it, I saw that there's two to mess with. You know, I'm thinking now, have the rules changed? If it's really good, they get 2 points or something. You know? But it was such an exciting game towards the end, and I'm glad that they were able to get a result out of it, Cameroon, and you know it was good for them. It's not the start to the World Cup they would have wanted, you know, but the fact that they were able to actually pull a result out of it. You know, maybe it gives them some strength, give them some confidence, and can make it to the round of 16.
Cameroon, you know what that means. Take on Brazil. So, just some records from that game, from the Serbians against the Cameroon outfit. Now, Alexander Mitrovic is now Serbia's highest goal scorer in World Cup history. He got his second in World Cup history today. His 51st for Serbia, of course, his first goal at a World Cup since scoring against Switzerland back in 2018 in Russia. So Mitrovic is up and running. Of course, we saw quite earlier Milinkovic-Savic also playing as well. And many people might be wondering, the goalkeeper Milinkovic-Savic and the midfielder Milinkovic-Savic, are they related? Yes, the goalkeeper is the younger brother of the midfielder himself. And of course, the goalkeeper Milinkovic-Savic is the tallest player in World Cup history now at 6 feet 9 inches tall. Let's have look at the results. That is on your screen right now. Cameroon 3, Serbia 3. South Korea 2, Ghana 3, Brazil 1, Switzerland 0, and Portugal 2, Uruguay 0. 14 goals across 4 games today at an average of almost 4 goals a game. Today has been quite a day of action, as every team now within the competition has completed at least 2 games at the World Cup starting on Tuesday. Every team will commence their passage in terms of their third and, of course, final group stage game. And this is when teams start to drop like flies within the competition. 30 teams are left out of the 32, so starting tomorrow, 4 teams will be eliminated from the competition. And later in the show, we'll have a slight preview as to what lies ahead tomorrow in groups A and B. But before we look ahead to that, let's now look at the second game that took place today. The Black Stars of Ghana, as they recorded their first World Cup victory in over a decade after defeating South Korea by 3-2. Jamal, your thoughts about the Ghanaians this afternoon?
Well, first of all, I realized that I got my Africans mixed up. When I was talking about the game, I was actually jumping between the Cameroon game and the Ghana game. But no, for Ghana as well, like I said, I was actually happy for Cameroon for getting the result. I meant that. But then for Ghana as well, I actually quite like Ghana. I watched them in the I think it was 2006 or was it 2010? Yeah. No, I'm trying to remember which one it was specifically. It was probably 2006 with SEN on the team at the time. Right. That was when I actually learned of them being known as the Black Stars. I didn't even know that was Ghana. Right. I just knew of them as the Black Stars. I even thought it was a racist thing for a while, to be honest. I'm not even going to lie. But then I actually found out that was what they were called because of the flag and all that. And I've always liked them. So ever since then, Ghana has always been my African team. You know, I wouldn't go as far as saying, I support them or anything, because any African team that's in the, like I said, we always want to see the motherland doing well. But of them all, I really do support Ghana. So for example, if I'm watching the AFCON, I would cheer for Ghana specifically. But yeah, it was good for them to get a victory, because like I said, I would have been watching them from 2006 and I would have seen them at 2010, and I know them to be a good team, you know, so to see them fight back the way that they did for their victory, well deserved, I believe, and I was happy for them to get that. And I enjoyed the game as well. It was actually, while I said I was most interested or most intrigued by the Portugal game, that's probably the game I enjoyed the most.
Ornella, who is your African team at this tournament?
Honestly, I don't really have one, but as Jamal said, I'm rooting for the motherland, and I wouldn't even mind if Ghana actually won the World Cup.
Really?
It's
That'd
a dream, but we all can dream,
Of course.
right? So I'm rooting for Ghana. To
So,
win.
okay, so Ornella has declared Spain, England, and Ghana. So that's 3 teams now. Perhaps by the
That's
end.
Wait.
Belgian
Yeah.
players.
Yeah. So perhaps by the end of the show, she'll have 10 sides. So
I'm
we'll
not
see
gonna
what that
have
goes.
10 sides.
That's true. 5 by the end of the show.
Probably.
Because, of course, Jamaica in the mix as well. So that's 4. Yes.
Let's just take off one there. Jamaica, no.
But it's your country of your birth.
I'll support them when they
2026.
get there.
Fair enough. And like I said, the Reggae Girls need a left back. So, with the World Cup next year, you can fill in.
I will. Sub me. Put me in, coach.
Coach Donaldson, I know you're watching, so you definitely know who to call upon right here. And of course, Jamal, on the South Korean side of things, they showed that grit to get back into proceedings, especially after being 2-0 down as well. Your thoughts about them in this encounter?
Well, the Asian teams are very disciplined. The way that they go about their football is always,
Especially Japan.
yeah, especially
Mhm.
Japan, you're right. They're
Yeah.
very disciplined in the way that they
Mhm.
play. And that's all no different here. They're not a team that gets blinded by the bright lights of the biggest stage.
Mhm.
You know, an African team, a South American team, a CONCACAF team, they'd be like under pressure in a game
Mhm.
and they fold.
Right.
You never see that from an Asian team. They could be 4-love down. They're going into challenges full-blooded. They're taking all the chances that they get. They're very bitterly disappointed when they miss a shot. 4-love down, you know.
Yeah.
But they'd still be just as disappointed as if they were trying to get the game winner in the 90th minute. But that's how they are. And it's all no different here. It is not the strongest South Korean team you've
Mhm.
seen in a while.
Right.
I know I'm doing a disservice to the players on the team, but
Mhm.
really and truly the only standout character, so far as I can think of, is Son himself, Heung-min Son. And it's like, we know it, a one-man team is always going to struggle, especially when you come up against the best in the world, which more or less is who's at the World Cup right now. So the fact that they didn't get the victory and the fact that they actually played spiritedly to even make it that close, it's about par for what they're capable of, I think.
I think my favorite player made an impact while coming on. Lee Kang in the number 18 made an impact in creating those assists for the goals. But yeah, you're right in terms of their approach and everything. A bit unfortunate for South Korea. This is their first loss to an African team at a World Cup since 2014 when they fell to Algeria by 4-2. And as mentioned earlier, Ghana, their first win at a World Cup itself since 2010 when they defeated the United States in the round of 16. What we're going to show you right now is Group H and the standings, and it's going to read a quite compelling way going into the last game, because you guys will see that there's going to be a rematch that we saw in 2010 in South Africa, Uruguay against Ghana, and you'll see the permutations that lie ahead for both teams. Our producer Jeff is working on it, and you'll see it back on the screen quite shortly. And the Portuguese, so it's France, Brazil, and Portugal. 3 out of 16 spots secured. 3 down, 13 to go within this competition. As I said, starting tomorrow, teams will start the process of elimination within the competition. Group H, Portugal, Ghana, South Korea, and Uruguay. So lots of work to be done, lots of things to be done here for this team in particular. Now, Jamal, you remember? What were your memories of that 2010 encounter, the Ghana-Uruguay encounter? Many people think about the penalty shootout, but there was an incident before that.
That was probably the moment of the World Cup for me, because
Yeah.
we didn't win the final. But that was probably the moment of the World Cup.
Yeah.
I probably, one of 3. I get into the other 2 at another time, but
Yeah.
that moment that in question, I think we all know it. There was the hand of God from Maradona
Yeah.
a while back.
Right.
This was probably the hand of the devil. You know what I mean? Like, the fact that Suarez was as bold-faced as just, I'll just save it like that.
Right.
Yeah, like, brother. I get it,
Right.
but you know what? It made him a bit of a hero, innit?
Yeah. If you were in his exact position,
That's what I'm saying.
probably might be the same.
Because the thing is, right, it was instinctive. I think it was malicious. Like he deliberately did that.
Right,
So it
yeah.
wasn't just, like sometimes the ball come close to your body here.
Yeah.
Kind
yeah.
of do that without him realizing
Yeah.
when they're moving towards
Reaction,
it.
yeah.
I think he was as deliberate in doing that as he was instinctively reacting. So I definitely think it was a something he did on purpose. But here's the thing, right? And he'll tell you, as he was walking down the tunnel, tears in his eyes and his shirt over his face, that, what did I do? Ray. The fact that Muslera saved that penalty, he was like, yes, because now it made sense. Now he's a hero in one country, and he's a villain probably in an entire continent
Right.
at this point, So it was something, like, it was a moment of madness, but it's one of those moments that you love to see in the World Cup. Like, for better or worse, it's something you'll never forget. I can think back to 2006 when it was England and Portugal. You remember that game?
Oh no, I don't like to be reminded of that. That day GSAT results came out, so it was a double one.
Yo, that game,
Yeah.
I remember when Ronaldo, it was when he went over after
Yeah.
Rooney, him and Rooney got into it. I looked over to the bench and gave him a little wink. I say, oh,
Wagwan,
that.
this is-
Like, just the dark arts, That's what you get at the World Cup sometimes, because there's a lot on the line. And you're representing your country. You're not just playing for 3 points right now or a paycheck. There's a whole lot that you're actually playing for pride and country, as they'd say.
Right.
Heart on the sleeve and out of you. So it's like, you're representing your flag. You're going to do some devilish things if it means the best for your team. And Uruguay benefited at Ghana's expense, although I still think Gian should have done better with the penalty. But, it was a moment that will live on for the rest of the time.
Ornella, do you remember that moment as well? The handball? 2010?
No, I don't.
Handball from Luis Suarez.
Handball. The only thing I can remember Luis Suarez doing in those times were biting people. That's all I can remember of him at that time.
What's crazy is that he's done that more than once.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he has.
Like if you have a nickel for every time it happened,
Yeah.
you'd have 3 nickels, which isn't much, but the fact that
Right.
it's more than one is ridiculous. So that's,
Well, 3 that we know about publicly.
yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
There might be even more accounts of where Suarez is walking around with bite marks all over them body or something.
Right. I've been a victim.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's have a look at the Group H standings in relation to this group in particular. Portugal out in front with 6 points, Ghana with 3, South Korea with 1, Uruguay with 1. So Ornella, you see, Ghana plays Uruguay in their last game. A Uruguay victory over Ghana eliminates Ghana. However, anything less than a Uruguay victory means Ghana would go through.
And considering the history,
So
it's a fresh wound for them.
you could say revenge. You could say revenge for Ghana
Revenge.
because Uruguay defeated Ghana in the quarterfinals of
Illegally.
2010.
Okay.
2010
Illegally,
World
that
Cup.
was the
Yeah.
handball.
So that's
Yeah.
so that's why they were so upset.
Yep.
Exactly, right.
Love that.
Right.
Revenge is good.
So here we are 12 years later.
A
I
cold
bet they've
dish.
been waiting for this.
Yeah, man, it's a cold dish coming towards them,
They've
man, and
been
that's the best way
waiting,
for it to
they've
be
been
served.
planning. You guys see that little man in the crowd for Ghana?
Mm.
Yeah.
The little, St. Thomas man.
Oh, you know which parish him come from.
I mean, well, you all know St. Thomas don't play.
Yeah.
Alright.
Ghana don't play.
That's true. But Jamal, South Korea, they have 1 point, and when you bear in mind, they have the Portuguese next. The Portuguese want to top the group. It's a tough ask to finish top 2.
Yeah, because Portugal, like I said, in my mind at least, they're still one of the dark horses for the tournament. And like I said, I was interested to see how they played today because I wanted to see what kind of quality they had against a Uruguay team, which we know is stubborn.
Right.
They had to show a lot of patience to get it done. This is Portugal. They had to show a lot of patience to get it done. That's not something that they're normally used to, or let me not say normally used to, because they're a team that likes to play very direct. In my mind, sometimes it's a bit haphazardly, their directness, but that's how they like to play. They don't really wait around, and in this game, they had to do that. In a game against South Korea, it's going to be just as bad, if not 10 times worse, because it's, a very disciplined team. They're very well organized, usually, and they are a defensive team anyway. So they're just going to sit in banks of 4, if not 9-1, you know,
Yeah.
and they'll just defend from now till tomorrow. And Portugal just needs a draw. Granted, you know, things go the way that they'd hope it goes.
Yeah.
Otherwise, but just a draw is enough to secure their spot. They'd want to get top spot to avoid, you know, difficult round of 16 opponents. But yeah, I think if they can do it, if they can, you know, manage to be patient, they should be fine.
Mhm.
This is Portugal. They should be fine. South Korea, on the other hand, you know, they're, like I said, they're gonna have it rough.
Yeah. Ornella, your thoughts about Cristiano Ronaldo, his performances within the tournament so far, and him generally?
Trash.
That's harsh.
Who?
Why?
I don't like him.
The greatest of all time? Why?
I mean, greatest to some, not to all.
What did he do to you?
A lot. I just, you know how some people, you know, when Jamaicans say my spirit just don't take him, spirit don't take him. He's just that guy to me. He's very, I would say he's very, look at him. Ugh. Like,
Focused,
some
happy,
people would be like,
driven.
no, I think he's too cocky.
Confidence is key.
Cocky.
Confidence.
No, he's not my
No?
favorite.
No,
I don't like. I mean, please don't gang up on me, guys.
It's
I
too
like
late.
him.
No, it's too
I
late.
like him as a family man, but as a footballer, it ain't
Family man.
a family man. I like his family. I like how he loves his family, but football wise, he's just like
I guarantee you
he
they're coming
wants to
for you.
beat. Please don't come.
They're
for me.
coming for you.
Please don't.
They're coming for you.
Interesting. All right.
So you're a Messi fan?
No,
All right. Okay.
I don't like me. I like
KDB. I got you. I mean, he's a good player, so that's fair enough.
Good play.
Neymar. Neymar's a good guy.
Okay, so you're a Brazil fan.
No,
No.
don't add it to the list. It's not on the list.
Spain,
No.
Spain, England.
Spain, England. That's it.
Full stop. Okay.
Ghana.
So that's okay. That's 3 sides right now. We still have another 18 minutes or so left in this show, so we'll see if that list will be added to. But let's look at the game that a lot of Jamaicans will have interest in, and that's Brazil against Switzerland. Ornella, did you speak with your Brazil fans before the game, after the game, check up, see how they're doing? What's their motive? What they're up to?
The Brazil fans?
Yeah,
I
your
was
fans
actually around 3 today, and they're okay.
Yeah.
I mean, they weren't happy about that little offside thing.
Offside
The VAR, they were actually upset about the VAR saying that it was offside when they were like, oh no, it's not offside, but it was clearly offside, guys. Just let it go. It was offside.
The great Casemiro popping up there for the Swiss with the goal. Manchester United midfielder there. Your thoughts about, you know, the Brazilian team as a whole as well in this competition? Do you view them as contenders?
Yes, I feel like they're one of the top contenders to win the World Cup.
I agree with you.
Yeah, they're in the top 3, and they're not number 2
Yeah, I think
or
they're-
number 1.
I think they're one of the contenders as well. I have them as my number 1 though, but I do think they're one of the contenders for sure.
So Brazil, for the first time since 2010, winning their first 2 games of a World Cup, back-to-back games since South Africa 2010. That's when they defeated North Korea and Ivory Coast.
Who
to-
knocked them out of that 2010 World Cup, Simon?
It was Oranje. Oranje.
Thank you.
That's the Dutch. The Netherlands in the quarterfinals. No, Jamal, you have to tell the people the story about your dad and the people have to know.
All right,
People have
well,
to know.
So my father is, like many Jamaicans, a Brazilian. Or at least so he believes. His last name is Tucker, by the way, not Da Silva, but you know, whatever.
Yeah.
So obviously in 2010 I wouldn't have been like, you know, a big man. I would have still been I don't remember.
Teenager.
But-
Yeah.
Yeah. I would have been maybe 14 or so. And I would have been, you know how it is when you're watching football, you just kind of follow whichever team your dad supports or like people around you kind of thing
Yeah.
Right,
when
right.
you're younger. But I would have made my decision to follow the Dutch, as I mentioned on the show, from about 4 years prior, watching the World Cup in 2006. And I said, well, I like this team. I'll follow them. They didn't make it to Euro 2008, so that was disappointing.
Yeah.
But then 2010 came around and it was my chance to support them again. And I said, I still like this team. I'm going to go in and support them. My father, being a Brazilian fan, you know, when I told him that, I was supporting the Dutch, because he asked me who I'm supporting, he's expecting me to say Brazil. And I said, Netherlands. how can I say that you're supported them tied they can't play ball here? I'm like,
What?
they're good though, you know.
Mr. Tucker.
But like I couldn't like articulate it
Yeah.
the same way I can now as to why they're good or why they're a good team to support. So when we came up against them in the quarterfinals now, and I think we actually went somewhere to go watch a match, and we went there, and he was fully expecting to laugh me to scoring
Right.
when Brazil knocked us out of the World Cup at that point, which was what he was thinking. And I was just saying, it's fine,
Yeah.
They scored the first goal,
Yeah.
and so the laughing ensued.
Right.
By the equalizer that Netherlands scored,
Yeah.
I noticed he wasn't sitting very close to me anymore. He was kind of
In
a
one
distance
corner,
away. But he played it off like, no man, him just a talk to somebody, man. Him just kind of busy right now. I'm so
Right.
far back.
Yeah.
The second goal scored, I walked home. I put it in that way. He left.
Wow.
He was disappointed. Left. And I walked. I mean, I wasn't far from home, so I'm not gonna
Yeah,
make
yeah.
it sound like he's trying
Right.
abandon me. But like, he was not happy about it. I think it was a couple of days before he came to the realization that Netherlands actually a pretty decent team. But we laugh
Yeah.
about it and thing because
Yeah.
I mean he was so convinced, and I was saying just watch the match.
Yeah.
Yes, it will go on.
Yeah.
And what happened was the victory.
Mr. Tucker, you see that? Should have listened to your son that day.
Which
Yeah.
team gives Brazil that 7-1 again?
It's the team right there that is
Germany.
that flag.
Oh, Germany.
Yes.
Interesting.
Deutschland. Guten Tag.
Interesting.
Adding it to the list.
No,
No?
no.
No, since you asked the question, so we have to
No,
know.
I was just trying to remember, Brazilians.
Yeah. Building up the knowledge.
7-1.
Yeah.
7 up.
Up like. Yes, it's good to build a knowledge base because I'm sure later we'll have a quiz for you so you can know your football and trivia.
Guys,
Not today?
just listen, guys. I am not a football fanatic. I am a trash talker. I
You're-
talk trash.
She's a football fan. That's the reason why she's in Spain. So you can speak Spanish. Good.
Yes, I can actually. A little bit. Un poco español.
Muy bien.
Better than Jeff.
Keep it up.
I shout out to Duolingo.
Yeah.
I tried to learn a bit in
Did
the
it
pandemic.
did it in school or traveled a bit?
Alright, you see the funny thing with Spanish now?
Yeah.
I did Spanish and French, and I went into my Spanish exam and I wrote
Yeah.
French. Went into my French exam and I wrote Spanish.
Was it on the same day?
Huh?
Was it on the same
Yes.
Oh.
It was on the
Oh,
same
wow.
day.
That's unfortunate.
day? Oh my.
Yeah, so that's that.
That's that. Let's have a look at Group G and the standings in that group in particular. So Brazil safely through to the last 16, and they've ensured they've done that at every World Cup since 1970 onwards. The last time they failed to miss out on the next round was 1966, which of course the year England won it. Switzerland 3 points, Cameroon 1 point, and Serbia 1 point. Jamal, the Swiss have Serbia left to play. Cameroon will play the Brazilians. So the Serbia-Switzerland encounter could very much determine the second team coming from Group G.
I take it you're not giving Cameroon any chance, Simon?
Honestly, I'm not. Honestly, I'm not.
I don't think
really
many
am not.
people are, to be perfectly honest, so that's fine. What I would say is, though, that the Serbia-Switzerland game looks already like it's going to be a cagey affair. That's probably going to finish in a draw, in which case Switzerland will just go to Brazil. That was how I picked them in my bracket anyway, so it should be fine. I don't really see much coming out of that game one way or the other because Brazil-Cameroon should be a foregone conclusion, and Switzerland and Serbia again. It's hard to see anything more than a 1-goal difference, and to be honest, I see where both teams would struggle to break down the other. So it's probably gonna be a draw.
So just back on the Brazilian point for a few moments, Brazil has never lost when Casemiro scored, so that's a good omen from their perspective, and they'll be hoping that he can have consistent performances throughout the course of the competition. Brazil, the first time since 2006 that they are keeping back-to-back clean sheets within the World Cup. They kept a clean sheet against Croatia in their opening game, against Australia as well later in the competition. So Brazil has something going for them in that rich vein of form. What we're going to do for the remaining 10 minutes or so is look ahead to the fixtures tomorrow and give you some sound reminders as what is to come in our coverage on Now Stream in Qatar. So tomorrow is the start where we'll have 3 shows per day. We'll have a show at 9 o'clock, at 1 o'clock, and 4 o'clock. As the games for the competition now will have 2 matches at 10 o'clock and 2 matches at 2 o'clock. This is the stage where the last group stage game for each team will be played simultaneously in each group. So as you can see on your screen right there, Netherlands versus Qatar and Ecuador versus Senegal. Both matches are at the same time. But you might say, but Simon, why is this the case? Why are you having both games at the same time? I would want to watch both. How am I going to do so? Well, the reality is back in the 80s in the World Cup, back in 1982, there was a bit of collusion between the teams, and that was to ensure, if 2 teams draw, they could perhaps advance, while teams in another match would be eliminated. This would eliminate this fact. And of course, both matches being played at the same time would enhance the credibility and efficiency of the matches. So 2 matches at 10 o'clock tomorrow and 2 matches at 2, and this will also continue in the round of 16 of the competition. So once more, I would like to show you the graphic once again to show you the specific games that are at 10 o'clock and at 2. So at 10 o'clock, it's Group A. Jamal's Netherlands will face the host nation Qatar. Ecuador versus Senegal, the match that will determine another spot in Group A. At 2 o'clock, it's Iran versus the United States. And finally, England against Wales, also at 2 o'clock. And of course, the post-game show at 4 o'clock. So the show is 9 o'clock, 1 o'clock, and 4 o'clock. So stay tuned for that. This will be the format moving forward as we get deep within the competition, and will also be the same for the round of 16 of the competition. So we're looking forward to it, and I hope you are as well, to get all the latest information from Now Streaming Qatar teams, players, stats, analytics, and furthermore content around the greatest show on earth. Ornella, which one of those 4 games are you looking forward to the most tomorrow?
USA.
USA Iran?
Yes.
Really?
I actually have a friend that plays for USA, and I'm very proud of him.
And his name is?
Timothy Weah.
He's your friend? Look at
Yeah.
that small world, yes.
Yeah.
As of course, his mother is Jamaican.
Yeah, she is. And his dad is very proud of him, and I'm proud of him. So, yeah.
Yeah, Timothy is watching. You can say hi to him.
Timothy, you better score tomorrow.
You should have told me the opposite when they played us in the qualifiers.
Yeah.
Because he scored against us.
He scored against Jamaica.
Oh, actually, that was a really funny story.
Yeah?
When
Really?
they were playing Jamaica versus
USA.
I was at the stadium, and I was in my Jamaica shirt, and when the match is finished and all, and everybody's like looking towards their favorite player, there comes Timothy coming towards me.
Mm-hmm.
And the Jamaicans around me were like, away him a go. And then he came to me and he was like, friends. And then people are like, I walk one right here, so I'm like, just calm.
Yeah, dupes.
I'm a friend, like,
Yeah.
I have to support.
Friends.
Yeah.
And I'm conflicted because when he was playing with, did they play England here? No.
Yes, the US played England.
Oh, you know how that go. England, USA, and then I'm just like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah. Pick
Because
England,
I post on my Snapchat. I am very passionate on Snapchat about the football.
Mm-hmm.
He's on my Snapchat.
Mm-hmm.
So then he's going to see all the things that I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So I just have to watch my mouth and just
You just have to watch the game.
watch them. Just every time USA play, I don't post nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So that's it.
Just a few comments coming in from Nitro. Casemiro as important as Neymar and Silva. USA is the only CONCACAF team going through. Let's see. I'm sure the Mexicans will have something to say where that is concerned as well. So let's see how everything progresses. And Jamal, the Dutch.
Yeah.
We're confident of securing group honours.
I am actually. I was confident going into the World Cup. We've spoken a lot already about how I think the team is in terms of their quality and how they play.
Right.
So I wasn't really worried about anything because it's just the Dutch. Plus we're playing Qatar, which, with all the greatest respect to them as hosts and what have you, they are the weakest team in the group. So the fact
Sorry.
It's a fact, not an
they're
opinion.
already out.
Sorry.
But no, the fact that we have that game, you'd say the easier of the 2 games. That's happening in the group. Yeah, and we're already top of the group. I said before that you prefer to have the points than the games in hand, and we have the points, and we have that the easier game in hand. So, yeah, I'm pretty confident about it. I'm just looking to see how we actually set up from a tactical point of view in terms of what we can do better, because the second game wasn't as good as it could have been. A good Ecuador team, but we probably should have done better in that game.
And you've seen reports across the Atlantic regarding Cody Gakpo, a player that has impressed for the Dutch so far, being linked towards Old Trafford and other clubs around England. I just want to know your thoughts if he's ready for that transition from the Netherlands towards England.
If he's ready for the big time, absolutely. If he's going to end up in United, I have no idea because, said last week, Jeff did get a transfer request from Manchester United. So, like, it's everybody in the world is linked to United. It doesn't, saying that Manu is in for a player doesn't mean anything. So, but as far as Gakpo himself, in terms of his talent and his ability, I definitely say he is ready for that stage. I mean, look, only last season or so, most people would have really known about him. This is his first World Cup. He's still a young guy, and he's the only one scoring goals for Netherlands at the moment. I mean, what more proof do you need that he can actually do it if given the opportunity? Him ending up somewhere else at the end of this World Cup wouldn't surprise me. I'm not sure if it'll be in January, which is a weird thing to say at the end of a World Cup. But probably, definitely by the next season, he should be in one of those top clubs in one of the top leagues in Europe.
Ornella, England, Wales, what are your thoughts there?
It's sad to say that Wales is definitely going home. And I think this is Gareth Bale's last World Cup, right?
Most likely.
Yes.
So that's a sad thing for him, going out weak. But I can't wait to see the England. I can't wait to see who scores. And most of all, I can't wait to see, who.
Yeah, he can play some golf and you can play tee off with him.
I'm not going to play no golf. I don't.
That's Gareth Bale's passion.
I know it is. Yeah. He's gonna pack up the football and go straight to golf. I know he can't wait to do that.
It'd be interesting if he transitioned into a golf career.
Oh, like how Usain Bolt transition from track to trying to play football. No offense.
No, a trial doesn't really count. You don't make it.
Well, I mean, he played in Australia for a while.
Bolt?
Yeah.
2 games.
Didn't he score a goal?
Yeah, in a trial game. Yeah.
A cheeky said try.
You score a goal in?
Yeah. That was
Sunday football don't count.
No. It wasn't Sunday football, Into form.
Even worse.
No, centre backs don't score goals. That's the reality. It doesn't happen quite often.
But no, it is a little sad to see some of those players go. That's probably the only thing about the World Cup that invokes any real amount of sadness outside of your team not doing what you want them to do. It's just the opportunity to see these players again on this stage is not guaranteed. I mean, Bale, for all his ability and all he's done for his team, this is their first World Cup, and it's going to be his last probably. So it's a bit unfortunate. You see Ramsey and him going, and you'll see other players in other teams as well departing, because let's say, for example, Uruguay don't get the result that they want. That would be the end of Cavani and Suarez as well, So, yeah, that's the one tinge of sadness at the end of the group stage where it's like, farewell to legends and what to do. Ochoa, for example, and Guardado, they could probably be out as well. They're guys with 5 World Cups under their belt. That's ridiculous, So that's the one thing. But once you get over that, like the days or 2 break that you get in between the rounds, you move past it. Like I said, unless it's your team, you move past it because knockout stage, World Cup, like really, this is it, more than even the group stages.
Ornella, your predictions for the game tomorrow, the Netherlands against Qatar?
5-0.
5-0 to the Dutch,
Like
okay. Senegal, Ecuador?
Ecuador, Senegal. Senegal, Ecuador?
Yes.
All right, so Ecuador, probably give them 3. Senegal will score 1.
A lot of goals tomorrow. Okay, Iran, USA?
Ooh, USA 4.
4?
Over Iran? Okay.
How much are Iran going to score?
All right, you know what? Switch it.
No, I'm sorry.
USA 3, Iran 2. Sticking to it.
Okay.
Close
game, all right.
And England, Wales.
Okay, I'm going to be fair to Wales and say Gareth Bale might score, so I'm going to give them a 1.
And England.
England, let me name all the players that are going to score tomorrow.
All right.
Okay.
This is fun.
Note it. Sterling.
Okay.
Bellingham. Grealish.
Okay.
Saka.
Right.
Bukayo Saka, okay.
Okay. That's 4.
I want to say...
Is Rashford?
Oh, Rashford. I don't know about Rashford, you know.
You
Kane.
don't know?
Harry Kane?
Yes, the Hurricane.
Nah.
No? Wow. What
So
about
how much? Phil, oh my...
Phil Foden?
Is Southgate?
That's South is the manager, yeah.
Mr. Southgate,
Yes.
if you're out there,
Yes.
Mr. Southgate,
Yes.
put Phil in. The last game you did not do that. And I'm pretty sure if you did, you guys would have gotten a goal.
So if he plays, he scores.
Yeah, if he plays, he scores.
Mr.
Mark
Southgate.
my words.
Mr. Southgate.
Mark my words.
On behalf of the England Fans Club of Jamaica, led by Alex Taylor and Simon Preston, please play Phil Foden.
Yes,
Thank you very much.
please.
Would
So
really
how much that?
appreciate
How much goal that?
4 or 5.
Okay.
4 or 5?
4 or
Yeah.
5, yeah.
All right. So England 5, Wales 1.
All right.
All right.
All right. So Jamal, the Dutch over Qatar.
I'd give them 3. Love.
Okay. Okay. Ecuador.
You know what? I'll give them 3-1. I think maybe they can get a goal and finally score at the World Cup. So I'll give them that one.
Okay. Senegal and the Ecuador.
I see Ecuador beating Senegal 2-1. It's not the same Senegalese team without Mane.
Right.
And that would have, like, with Mane in it, totally different team. Unfortunate for them, but I think Ecuador is good enough to
Alright.
get the victory.
USA, Wales. England, Wales, and of course Iran, USA.
England, Wales, that's an England victory easily. I'm just going to go with Ornella's prediction. I like how accurate it is.
5-1.
So 5-1 is what
Yeah.
I'm going to say. And how it go? Sterling, Bellingham,
Grealish,
Saka.
Saka,
and if
if
Foden
Foden
comes
plays,
on.
that's for okay.
So-
And then there's a freebie. So if Foden
Right.
don't play, somebody can get the extra goal.
Right.
And then for USA, Iran.
Winner takes all there.
Yeah, I'm thinking Iran probably draws with USA. So I'm thinking maybe a 1-1 draw or
Wow.
a 2-2
I
draw.
honestly feel like Iran might be USA.
I do too, but
I feel like they're going to
I don't.
beat
The thing is,
USA.
I don't want to be the one to say that, and everybody come laugh at me
Really
for it.
feel
But I
like-
do think Iran is going to give them a run for their money. I
Absolutely.
think at least a draw though.
Iran
Because
is a
remember
good team.
they have the point. Yeah, they are a good
Yes.
team, and they have the points already. So it's
Yeah.
not like they need to go all out to win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a draw is probably what that game's going to end in.
Yeah. Jev and Nico, England tomorrow? Yes? Ornella's prediction. Okay. Okay. Sounds good. Thank you everyone for tuning in. We really, really appreciate it. Ornella Thompson, you've made your debut. Thank you so much for being
Thank
here.
you for having me.
It was fun. You know, we should come back another time.
Bring me back for my prediction with the England and Wales. England
Yeah,
and Wales.
Wales.
Yes, mark my words.
All right.
Okay. Yeah, and thanks very much to Jamal as well for coming on. As you can see, he has on an England kit as well, so he's supporting England
This
for
is
tomorrow.
lacrosse, okay, and it's not even
Yeah.
senior lacrosse. It's on a 19.
The lion is on it, and if you look at the back of his shirt, it says England. So
Yeah, but that's why I'm sitting facing this way.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, good sport. Very, very good sport, lacrosse. So thanks, folks. Really, really appreciate it. Don't forget our pregame show tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock. And we'll have another show at 1 o'clock and 4 o'clock. So join us tomorrow at 9 a.m. for our pregame show. Qatar against the Netherlands and Senegal against Ecuador. Until then, bye-bye for now.
Eight 7 6 stream. Bless up.